Okay, so after all that heavy milling that we did, you know, we had the quill extended a bit, and we were pushing pretty hard on it. So after you do some heavy work like that, it's really a good idea to tram the mill and just double check and make sure nothing's moved. You know, you got your yum 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 yum, you're vibrating, and you have a lot of force on it, so that's when things move around, in particular the head. So I'm going to start out just by just stoning the table here lightly. You know, I'm just looking for up stickers and burrs or anything like that. Just kind of going over it, looking for things, and it looks like it's pretty good. Not feeling anything. And this is one of these dual grit Norton stones. KBC sells these, and we get that 15% discount thing that's still going on, so if you want one of these, you can get one. I think they're 30 bucks or something like that. I like the round one because it just fits in your hand real nice. So, okay, so let's give that a little wipe off. All right, I'm going to set up an indicator, and we'll do a little tram action. All right, so we're going to use our Starrett back plunger indicator here. I like these for tramming in the mill because the button is curved slightly and it slides over the T-slot clamps really nice. So it's one of the, I don't use this one all the time, but this is one thing I do use it for regularly, is this tram in the mill, and because it works really good. Okay. So I'm just putting a little peg in here to hold on to, and then and the rod can go on in that direction, or the rod can go on then that direction or that direction. So they're pretty handy that way. Okay. Put the little snug on, and then get all my little accessories there, and then I tighten this up here, and then this rod's threaded, so then I use that to kind of snug that rod. So order of operations there. All right, so see, I'm just going to clamp on this. I'm in neutral, so okay, and then let's, oops, that a little too tight. Put that on the downhill slope there. All right, let's see what we got here. Get out of the way. I'm going to run the quill all the way out, basically. All right. Let's get over a slot there. Okay, so I'll rotate that around so I can see the zero easy. I'm just going to come down a touch off. Oop. Sometimes, there we go, I got it. And then I rotated from this back end here. All right, so we're zeroed up pretty good there. Give it a little swing. And you hear that, it just slides over the slots, just slickered. And okay, so that's not quite a half a thou. Let's double check, make sure nothing moved. Looks like a pretty good zero there. Yeah, so I'm gonna call that like a half a thou over this distance here, which is, what is that? Well, there's the radius there, 14 inches. So that's 380 millimeters, okay? So that's pretty good radius there, all right? Okay, so we've checked the one direction, now we'll check the other direction. So we'll center up on the center slot. Let me come up a little. All right, and then I'm gonna jack this around a little bit here like this, so center up pretty good, yeah, that's pretty good. Get over the edge here. So I'm just gonna catch the maximum width here. This is a double check and make sure this direction's okay too. Cinch that down. So one nice thing about these indicators here is, you know, if they're off zero, you can rotate the bezel without disturbing them pretty well. They're pretty sturdy that way. Okay, 0. And that direction's even better. Now it's a smaller radius too. So the other thing you can do is you can run the table back and forth to get a kind of a larger radius. You can do that to magnify the results. But then you're also reading any issues with your ways as well. You know, if the ways have a dip to them or whatever, you'd pick up on that as well. Okay, so everything looks good. I'm not going to adjust anything. It seems quite close actually. I'm kind of surprised after all that milling. So let's set up a vise. Okay, so we've got all the edges deburred here. What we want to do is we want to kind of process these as a group, okay? Just kind of even them up a little bit. And then, you know, these are just saw cuts here, so sitting on the surface plate is averaging all those hills and valleys and giving me a kind of an average line across there. We're just going to clamp it to keep them in this relationship for a minute while we get them up in the vise on the mill. So let's kind of snug this end up here. Okay. Clamps are going the same way. So these are these can't twist clamps. If you haven't played with these are they're pretty nice. They're a lot more convenient than C-clamps on the mill, you know, so, and they hold real well too. Okay. All right. Okay, so I'm not surprised that it feels a little hollow here and there because, like I said, this is a saw cut. So let's go over to the mill and let's get that set up and straight with the world. Okay, so here's our next problem. We have 13 inches of bronze keys and 6 inches of vise. Okay, so that's 330 millimeters, and we got a 150 millimeter vise. So what do we do? I don't have any, you know, the coolest would be to have long jaws that cover this whole thing, but I don't have any long ones like that right now. Well, let's start with putting some big parallels under there. I got some long ones here. Drop those in here. And these will support them all the way, most of the full length of it. You know, these are pretty thick, so if we keep them clamped together, they should be just dandy in there. So plan a little. Okay, center that up. Okay. All right. So then we're going to give this. Oh, is that moving? What's going on there? Feels okay. Take a look underneath. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Now, what you don't want to do in this situation is do a beat down on it, and because these are kind of on air there. Now, I'm not going to even smack it down. I want to just average what's there. I'm going to clean up both sides, so I'm not too worried about it right now. So we're going to get a plane here, and then we'll flip them over, and then we'll get them to thickness. So that's the general plan. Just make sure things are sitting right. Okay, pretty happy with that. What else? I don't know. Let's. Oh, we need to move these. See, these are sticking up a little bit here. So now that I have them clamped pretty securely, okay, I can drop these down a little bit. So I'm kind of subsurface there. Still got to be a little bit careful. I don't want to dink the clamps there. Okay. Nobody likes it when you dink their clamp, right? All right, so drop that below. Okay, so you know, this has its own structural rigidity here, so if we take light cuts on this, we should, it's making a little noise out there. It should be okay. Let's give it a try. Let's see what happens. All right, so we got our 1.5" diameter AB Tools shear hog. And this is a real positive geometry cutter, so it's going to cut with real low pressure and ideally. And we're going to start kind of in our worst place here. Let's see what we got. Okay, so about 1,000 RPM. I'm just going to bring this up just till it nicks it a little bit. So we're fishing for high spots right now. All right, well. Yeah, maybe when it gets cleaned up, I don't know, hard to say. It's rattling a little bit out here. So I'm going to surface this off a little bit, kind of get down to you know, an even surface, not an interrupted cut, and then see if I can do a real light cut and get that to have a nice finish. All right, we're going to try something different here. That didn't work for shite. You can see the finish there is complete crap, so we're going to do something a little different here. Like I said, I don't feel like making some long jaws right now. That would probably take care of it, but let's just keep going here. So I do have these long parallels here, and what we're going to do, we're going to use those as jaws, floating jaws, okay? And then put some parallels underneath that, okay? All right then, and you can see what I did here is I used some of the mini pallet clamps to make a parallel clamp, kind of low profile job there, so it keeps things pretty tight and snug. So, all right, let's see, that looks pretty good. Now these jaws are squeezing it for the full length, and I can actually add another clamp to that to put a little pressure on the outside here. Is really what I'm trying to do here. I suppose I could lay these jaws down the other direction because they're stiffer that way, but let's just try this. So kind of do the incremental approach here, okay? So let's see here. Make sure it feels pretty good, okay? Let's see, I put it in the right way there. Yeah, that looks right. All right, let's crank that. You know what? I'm gonna get my bigger. Yeah. All right. Crank that down. Still feels a little wimpy under here, so I think I'm going to stick a clamp on that as well, and then come back in a sec for a cut. All right, so we got some clamps on there. Let's give it a go. Let's see if this works. Take about 5 thou. Sounds better already. It's going to be fine. All right, let's get down to a I'm using the rapid traverse as my feed here, just to get an initial surface established. Then I'll do some cuts for finish. All right, I'm gonna move those. Let's get these on first. 670. Okay, so between the high and the low, we got about 4 thou. What do I want to do with that? I need to fix that. So this end's thick, so it means it's tipped that way slightly. So, all right, so I took a couple of light cuts without changing anything, and a lot of the discrepancy kind of went away, so it was probably some of it was from cutting pressure or the pieces warming up. But this corner is still low here because it's thick, okay? 669, 667, and the other side's parallel at 665. So 2 thou over that length, I can live with that. This I'd like to do something about, so what I'm going to do here, reach over the camera here, I'm going to just I'm going to loosen the clamp and just kind of see what occurs here. Okay, a little bit. So let's push on that just a shade. And I'm pushing that pretty hard there. All right, I was thinking that it might kind of pop up a little bit, but let's monitor that, and I'm going to loosen the vise slightly and see if this thing will kind of settle down, settle up or whatever. So. Okay, so let's see, which way is it? It's going away. It's going the wrong way. All right, maybe I ought to just reseat the whole darn thing. I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. So that means, yeah, it went down. It went down there, so. Not what I wanted. Okay, I'm going to reseat the whole mess here and then take another couple skim cuts. All right, so I was poking around a little bit, just looking for sources of error, and I found something that was kind of mildly interesting here. Not kind of what I expected, but I was just kind of checking stuff. Let's see if we get that set right. All right, should be close enough for demonstration here. So just basically checking that parallel, and look at that. Okay, so that, and it's the direction that my error is. So this side is, the side that we're on now is up, so which would make the other side low, right? Okay. This side's pretty good, so what's going on? That's the next question. So this is where you get into the investigation. Now let's just kind of take this apart so you can see what's going on. Now I'm using a parallel laying down flat like this, okay? And caution, and I've had this problem before, is they may be good in this direction here, okay, the height, okay, but not necessarily so great in this direction, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to pull these two out, and then we're going to do a little measuring on those and see what's going on. All right, so we got our two parallels here, and you know, you can see that they look pretty good, right? I mean, they're ground all the way around, so you know, unless you check them, right, the assumption is that they're probably pretty good. Now I put a little X on the end to mark them so that they are in the same orientation, okay? So let's check the parallelism of the parallel first, right? All right, let's do this, and we use this nice black face indicator here so you guys can see what's going on. Down nice and close. Oops. That should give me enough there. All right. Hopefully you guys can see that. All right, so we're good. So that's pretty good. I'd call that pretty good. I don't know, maybe just a couple of tenths over the length of that. Okay, so let's try this other one now. Back that off a little bit, see if I can get down to that level there. Somewhere like that. Snug this little monkey up. All right, let's try that. Let's see, can you see the needle? Yes, good. Yay. All right. Look at that. That's 1, 2.5. That's 2.5. Now remember that this isn't the normal direction that you use the parallel. This is the direction that they're parallel, or that they guarantee that they're parallel. Well, here's what's even more disturbing. Oop, maybe your indicator catches. It kind of gets worse, I think. When I checked it the first time, when I went across it, maybe I had something under it. Okay. So right there, it's got a high spot in the middle. Let's try this. See that? Well, let's see here. I'll go the other way so you guys can see it better, but I'll touch it. So it's got a little high spot in it somewhere. It's teeter-tottering on the center. So there's part of my problem. So I'll probably change that setup around and then do another little test cut on that and see how it works. So beware using parallels on the side. So heads up. Oh, by the way, I got the circular polarizer on right now, and I'm just going to rotate it through it. And that's what the circular polarizer does. You can see it changing here quite a bit. Gotta hold it still. But the face of the indicator is not changing that much. And when you get one of these suckers in there, okay, let's do that. Circular polarizer. It doesn't do much for the white face. Only under certain lighting conditions, so it just depends on the direction and the angle of the light coming in. So, okay. All right, let's see what we got here. Finish looks good. This should have been the final cut. Let's see where we're at. Six, 2, 3, 5. Okay, that's all right. Six, 2, 4, 5. 2, 4, 5. Okay, about a thou difference there. Six, 2, 3, oops, 3, 5. Let's see, right. And I can't read this one from this side here. Gotta go around. 6255. Okay. 5, 5. All right, so we got 3, about a 2,000ths variation, which is, I don't know, pretty good. Over this length and holding loose pieces like that, I'm actually pretty pleased with that. I got one that it's a little bit oversized here, but I think it'll probably be okay. I'll try it in the groove, and if I have to do a little work on that particular one to make it fit the way I want, then that'll be fine. But finish came out good. I don't know. There's a way to hold long skinny parts and kind of get everything pretty good. So let's take them out of there. Okay. And I have to add for the jaw thickness. I think it's 1/2 inch, 12.7 millimeters add. Okay.